This video I want to emphasize the importance of sparring for the martial arts as far as reaching a high level and claiming yourself to be, proficient in the martial arts or an instructor of the martial arts. To me, I think of it like a mechanic. Like it's like trying to say that you're a mechanic, you're an auto mechanic, but then you never worked on cars. Like you never worked on an actual car. You just watch videos, you read books, but you never actually worked on the car, and not just one car, but different cars. Just notice every car is a little different. Some people might be able to work on some Fords, but they never worked on BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Jaguar. You know, every single car is a little bit different. You know, and you got to figure each one out. Yes, like they're similar, but they're not all the same. And when you spar, okay, you spar against one person, but what about other people? You got to have a lot of experience sparring against a lot of different people, not just sparring against one person and that's it. So that's how you get better in the martial arts, is you need to spar not just against one person but many different people, so then you know how to adjust and you know how to look for people's weaknesses, and you get to see what their strengths are, and you got to learn how to adapt. So it takes a lot of experience. It doesn't just happen overnight. And that's the thing, that online training can never give you. You could watch as many videos as you want. From you could watch videos of Floyd Mayweather. You could watch videos of Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee. You could watch videos of Mike Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, Jet Li. You could watch as many videos as you want. You could read as many books as you want. You could read the Tao Jeet Kune Do. You could read it 400 times if you want. But without the actual practice, of not just the techniques, not just the conditioning, not just the fitness, but the actual sparring is what's extremely important. If you look at boxers, the only way they get better at boxing is they have like a lot of different sparring partners. You know, but the downfalls of boxing and combat sport is that you're only sparring against people that are your size, your weight, your gender. You're not sparring people of different weight classes, different abilities, and even different styles. Boxers who just only box other boxers, but you're not really working against wrestlers and you know different martial artists from different disciplines. So in order to get better at the martial arts, you need to spar against beginners, intermediate people, advanced people, different weight classes, different heights, different ages. Just spar with as many people as you can in a safe way. And that's what's really important. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care if the person's fit, you know, I don't care how long they've been studying the martial arts. If they're good at what they do and they want to claim themselves to be proficient, if they want to say that they're instructors, then they gotta be good at sparring. And if they're not good at sparring, then they're not advanced. They're not. They shouldn't be instructors. I think when so many people claim themselves to be teachers, instructors, and you got 10,000 people, and then 10,000 people think that they're all instructors, then you know that there's a lot of false. There's a lot of false. There's a lot of deception, a lot of fraud. Out of the 10,000 people, maybe find one person who's the best out of the 10,000, and he's the real instructor. And this is a way of deciphering what is real from what is false. You can't. Somebody can't say that they're a good swimmer if you don't see them swim. Somebody can't say that they're a good dancer if you don't see them dance. Like a mechanic cannot be good at what he does if he doesn't work on cars. You can't just read about it. You can't just watch videos. And I don't care who your instructor is. Okay, your instructor might be good, but what about you? Are you good? It's like just because you watch a lot of movies and a lot of videos of people that are good doesn't mean that you're good at it. You got to get in there and do it. You know, I don't mean fighting and hurting each other. I mean sparring in a safe way. You know, and that's just something that I feel is extremely important in the martial arts, and people need to understand that. So then there's just not so much deception out there. A lot of people out there claiming um, that they're good at something that they're not good at. You know, because that's what a lot of professions out there. You got a lot of mechanics that are not good, and then they cheat people for the money. There's even lawyers out there that aren't good at what they do, and then there's doctors out there that aren't good at what they do. You know, we need to decide the good from the individuals that are not good. And sparring is a big part of it. Meditation is a big part of it. Fitness is a big part of it. Put everything together and represent each aspect to a high level. And that's what a real martial artist is. You know, somebody that's proficient in all aspects of development, not just in one area. You know, and put in consideration their abilities relative to where they're at. You know, so you might have a martial artist that's like 60, 70 years old, but if he's still holding his own at his age, you gotta give him credit for that. You know, it doesn't mean that he's the best in the world. He could beat up somebody no matter what age they are, 20 years old, 30 years old. It just means that he's really good for where he's at. And give him credit for that. You know, everybody is progressing at different levels. But we should be able to decipher, you know, who's good from who's not good based on our experience and what we know to be an individual that's representing a high level. You know, and we need to represent that within our own practice. You know, we should not be teaching something of which we don't know, because then we just further blind people. It's like people that don't even know how to spar, they can't even defend themselves, and then they're teaching other people how to defend themselves. It's like, how does that make sense? It's like a mechanic who doesn't know what he's doing, and then he's telling you to do something to your car, and then your car ends up becoming worse than it was before, because of this mechanic who's not even a mechanic, and he's trying to advise you on something of which he doesn't know. And that's how it is with the martial arts, and it happens all the time. A lot of people are trying to teach something of which they don't know, and that's a big problem. You know, so I think we need to self-analyze our own development and basically represent it the right way before we start teaching anybody, no matter if it's for pay or for free. You know, because to me, martial arts is a very serious thing that requires an immense amount of experience and expertise in order to teach it the right way. And I think part of the problem, the big problem, a lot of the issues that's going on with the martial arts community is just a lot of people are teaching something which they do not know. And it's making the martial arts in its entirety look very bad. It's making it have less respect. You know, so I challenge everybody to think about that. You know, you can't be a mechanic overnight. You know, somebody that's really good at fixing cars, it's going to take many years of development, and technologies change and cars change in subtle ways, and they got to get to know these changes, and they got to work with all these different cars in order to be truly good at what they do. You know, and it's the same thing with the martial arts. It takes a lot of years of development, and you got to spar over and over and over again with a lot of different people in order to be at a certain level of development. You know, even recently with the Ronda Rousey, for example, after 12 fights, she thought she was the king of the world, saying that she could beat up Mayweather, saying that she could beat up any person in the entire world, and all it took was some amateur boxers to to dethrone her and just let her know that she's nothing special. And that's how it is with martial arts. It's like if you become arrogant, there's something wrong, because there's no room for arrogance in the martial arts. That's when the guns come out. So you need to be humble no matter how good you get. And these are some very important lessons to remember.